Welcome back everyone to my update video, which is part 2 of my personal product review for the Frigidaire Gallery 22.1 cubic foot fridge, model GRMG2272CF, with the internal water dispenser and the internal ice maker. I am Troublemaker, and I am not a paid sponsor. I am simply sharing my experience, which may or may not help you, the consumer, in your future refrigerator choices. I will have some bonus footage at the end of the video because it's time for our 6-month filter change. So if you stay tuned, we will be doing that together. I'd like to thank you all for the great feedback and comments and reply to a couple of great questions. First, from Shaw Creates. In my first video, I mislabeled my model as 21.5 cubic feet, but it's actually 22.1 cubic feet. And thanks for spotting that so I can correct my error. Secondly, I'd like to thank Soul Food Sister for the great question asking why my fridge doors are facing the oven and wondering if it's conflicting to the functionality of my appliances. Well, the thing is, my kitchen is very small in my apartment, so I've had to make some modifications to make this work for me and my appliance of choice. First, I just want to say there is ample space for the oven door movement, and the refrigerator drawers are not obstructed. The upper left-hand door, however, is limited in movement, and I sort of Mickey Mouse the bumper so that I don't have to damage my fridge or the oven knob. And since I'm not rough on my appliances, I should be fine. I also still have full access to the left-hand produce drawer. Another modification I had to do is to raise my fridge and move it about 2 inches away from the oven door and above the carpet edge. As you can see, here's how small my kitchen is, but it's also very easy to clean under the fridge now. So thanks, Soul Food Sister. I hope that answers some of your question. Now this is day 1 of my vegetable life test. I randomly selected some produce that I'm going to use for this test. I've got some yellow squash, got some green onion, got some bell pepper and tomato. Everything I bought is fresh from day 1. Now I also bought some green onion that I'm going to use for a container that I'm going to put it in to see if there is a difference in if it's in an enclosure, because as you know, those leafy vegetables, they are usually the first ones to expire. Day 7. Well, as you can see, the green onions, they've already started to wilt and brown, which didn't take very long at all. My green onions that I have stored in my container, they're still lasting a little longer. You might see a little browning here and there, but overall they're in much better shape than the green onions that I did not put in the container. So we'll see how this works out. As I mentioned before, the leafy vegetables, they're always the first to go. Things like cilantro, spinach, green onions, for example. So far, there's no major change in the bell pepper and the tomato. Still in great condition. The squash, you can see a little dimpling starting to form. Still usable, but you can see the aging. My cilantro, I normally put inside of an open container and leave it outside on the shelf. And I usually add about ½ inch to an inch of water, and I replace that water about every 2 to 3 days. On day 11, well, our green onions, they are less than 50% usable, I'm gonna say. You can see a lot of stems that can be torn off and tossed in the trash. But I'm gonna say it's about 50% usable still. It's got more flexibility in it, which is not good, let's just say. So let's check out our green onions that we have in our container. Just visually, I can see that there's more usability than the green onions that are not in the container. There's less browning and there's less wilting going on with the sealed green onions. So it's more than 50% usable, I would say. So there's a few pieces that I could just toss off into the trash, but not as much as the other green onion, which is pretty impressive. Our squash is continuing to age not so gracefully. Got a lot more dimpling going on. Our tomatoes actually look pretty good. They're pretty good. Bell pepper looks pretty much in very good condition. Doesn't look like it's exhibiting a lot of damage. As you can see, our cilantro is thriving pretty well. There's only a few stems that I would throw away out of this, but it's more than 75% usable, and it's time to replenish the water I'm gonna pour out the old water and put some fresh water in and set it right back on the shelf. Okay, 2 weeks into our test, we're at day 14. Our squash, well, it's not doing so well. It's quite rubbery when I try to snap it in half. So I'm gonna call this one a test ender for the squash. So no longer than 14 days. As for our bell pepper, it's doing very well. I would still use this. It feels firm to the touch. As for the tomato, actually still looks great. It's also firm to the touch, and I would use this right now. And as a matter of fact, I am going to use it right now. Our cilantro is beautiful. I mean, it's like I'm growing it in my garden right now. It's very beautiful. In a couple of days, I'm going to change the water out and put some fresh water in there. As for our green onions, they're starting to age, but for 2 weeks, it's very good. It's very good. At least you know if you go on vacation for like a week or so, your green onions will be fine. No one's gonna really. I don't suspect anyone's gonna leave them in the refrigerator for up to 2 weeks, but it's good to know that at least for a week they'll be good, depending on how you store them in the refrigerator. I want to thank everyone for watching. This was a great test. You know, I learned a few things. Hopefully, we all learned a few things, and I enjoy all your comments and any suggestions that you may have on food storage and preparation. And I'm gonna call this a win. I think the vegetables last a pretty good lifespan. You don't want to keep your vegetables for too long in the refrigerator anyway, but at least you'll know that they will be pretty usable after at least 7 to 10 days. They'll still be good. So anyway, this concludes our test. I thank you all for watching, subscribing, and I've learned a few things about this test, and I hope I can share some of those results with you guys. For right now, it's time to make some tacos. I'm hungry, so let's get to it. Keep watching for the bonus footage where I'm going to be replacing the water filter, and I'm going to replace the air purifier filters. Hello YouTubers, I'm back with that bonus footage for you. Guess what? It's time for filter changes. I'm going to be changing my water filter, changing my air filter, and we're going to be changing the ethylene gas filters for the vegetable and food trays. Alright. Alright, so funny thing happened a couple of weeks ago. My entire panel display went completely black, and I freaked out. I didn't know what happened. So I was pushing buttons, trying to get it to light back up until I hit the clear alerts button, and everything lit up. And what I found out is that that was the refrigerator telling me that it was time to replace my filters, because as soon as I got the LED to display, my water and air filter lights LEDs were red. Prior to that, they were in the orange. So that is an alert that I didn't know about. It would have been nice if got a little warning ahead of time, because I actually thought I was gonna have to call a technician out. But everything's fine. I do have filters, and we're gonna change that today, and we're gonna do that together. So here I have my water filter, which is the PWF-2, and I have air filter cartridges which go at the top back of the refrigerator. I bought some aftermarket ones. They were about what was it, a 6-pack for about 18 bucks. And I have some ethylene gas absorbers, made in America. Never used them before, and I'm not sure how I'm gonna make it work, because they are not the right size, since I didn't go with the manufacturer, Frigidaire. They're in an awkward rectangle, but as long as they absorb the ethylene gas, I'll be fine with that. I'm okay with that. And one thing to note, that in the manual right here, it actually has a poor connect authentication, which means that if you do not use the correct water filter from Frigidaire, basically you'll have some problems. So I think that's just a way of, you know, kind of keeping the money rolling in. So do not try to buy an aftermarket water filter. It is not recommended. Now, I am definitely gonna have an issue putting this in, but what I need for it to do is to absorb the ethylene and keep my fruits and vegetables lasting longer. That's all I need from it. It's not gonna look pretty, but once I close that plastic cover, I won't have to look at it for a couple of months. So let's do it. I'm going to start with these first, because I think that these are going to be the most complicated. As you can see, the size difference. It's a little awkward, but okay. they don't fall through when I'm attempting to put them back in place. That looks cool. And I'm going to do the same to the other side. All right, so that wasn't as complicated as I thought it would be. So let's move on to the pure air filter. Just going to move some stuff around. This should snap right off, like so. And we have pretty similar likeness for aftermarket, slightly different design, of course. And as I can see, I want to keep the filter in the same orientation. And you can see this is a lighter gray on this side. This lighter gray is facing towards the back, so it's going to be facing that way when I pull it off. And the darker gray is going to be facing the inside of the refrigerator. So I want to keep that same orientation with this one as well. It also has a dark and a light side. So when I'm putting it in, put the light side up. There. There we go. Beautiful. Moving on to our water filter. Okay, says right here, push in to engage and remove. Seems simple enough. And I'm keeping the same orientation. We've got the contacts on one side here, facing you. I'm gonna keep the contacts on this side the same way. And it's locked back into place. Now our water filter has already reset. Now we're just gonna reset the air filters. It says hold to reset. And nothing happens. Let's clear the alerts. All right, now let's try it again. There it goes. I think. Okay, let's hold it for 3 seconds. There it is. In the manual it did say hold for 3 seconds. So now we've done our filter change. Now I'm gonna empty out 2 gallons of water. That's usually about what it takes, about 2 gallons. So I have this neat little bucket here. And we got some air pockets, so there will be a little splatter. No harm. Now I'm gonna do the same with the ice. I'm gonna dump out this. I'm gonna allow the ice to fill completely up, and I'm gonna toss it out and create new fresh ice. And I know I wanted to also express what I love about the refrigerator, and the only things that I do not like about the refrigerator, I do love that it actually stays at the temperature that it's at. Excuse my refrigerator, I have to go do some grocery shopping. So I gotta do that today actually. I like how it maintains the temperature, keeps everything the way it's supposed to be. The freezer keeps everything without getting freezer burns, you know, and of course that has to do with you adjusting your temperatures, right? And how much you open and close your refrigerator, I guess, to let the cool air escape. I do love that. I do love this neat little drawer here for my refreshments. I gotta buy some more. And I like everything about it. The only thing I do not like about this refrigerator, which is non-technical, is the display panel itself. You have to squint or look at the words at different angles. I would like it if they had these lit up, or even, you know, just a white background with dark graphic and lettering. But yeah, I have to get at certain angles so I can actually read what I'm touching before I actually touch it, which, you know, it's not a technical issue. As far as performance, it performs the way it should, and I'm very happy with that. So that pretty much concludes my video. I thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for the comments, and well, that's about it. Talk to you guys later. Bye bye.